Sometimes, life begins with a story no one chooses, a story written in silence, tears, and impossible decisions. On a cold, rainy night, a young mother walked through empty streets, holding the most precious thing in her world, her newborn baby. Her heart was breaking, not because she didn't love her child, but because she loved her too much to let her suffer the life she could not provide. With trembling hands, she placed the baby near the gate of a small community center. The tiny child cried into the quiet night. The mother stepped away slowly. Each step felt like losing a piece of her soul. And before disappearing into the darkness, she whispered through tears, "Please, let someone kind find her." Inside that small building lived a man named Daniel. Daniel was known by everyone in the neighborhood as a man with a generous heart. That night, he heard something unusual. A soft cry carried through the rain. He opened the door and followed the sound. Near the gate, he found a small bundle wrapped in a blanket. Inside was a newborn baby girl, cold, crying, alone. Daniel looked around the empty street, but no one was there. He gently lifted the baby into his arms, and almost immediately the crying stopped. It was as if the little girl already knew she had just been found by the right person. That night, Daniel gave the child a name. He called her Amina, and from that moment on, neither of them would ever be alone again. Years passed. The little baby grew into a bright and kind young girl. Daniel raised Amina with patience, love, and sacrifice. He wasn't rich, he didn't have much, but what he gave her was something far more valuable: a home, a family, and a heart full of kindness. Amina grew up helping others in the community. She shared smiles with strangers, she helped elderly neighbors, and she carried a warmth that made people feel safe. But deep inside her heart, there was always a quiet question, a question she sometimes asked while staring at the sky. Where did I come from? One evening, as the sun was setting, Amina sat beside Daniel. After a long silence, she finally asked something she had wondered her entire life. "Do you think my mother ever thinks about me?" Daniel looked at the horizon before answering, because some questions carry the weight of a lifetime. Finally, he said softly, "Some people carry regrets in their hearts forever." Amina nodded quietly. Perhaps, somewhere in the world, someone was thinking about her too. One ordinary afternoon, Amina was working at a small bookstore. It was a peaceful place, filled with quiet music and the smell of old pages. Then the door opened. A woman walked in. Elegant, calm, graceful. The moment Amina looked up, their eyes met. And suddenly, time seemed to slow down. Neither of them understood why, but both of them felt something strange, a feeling deeper than familiarity. It felt like recognition, as if two souls were remembering something the mind could not explain. The woman's name was Elena. After that day, she began visiting the bookstore often. Their conversations felt effortless. They laughed at the same jokes. They loved the same stories. They even shared the same quiet love for rainy days. Every meeting felt natural, as if their lives had been connected long before they met. Yet, neither of them could understand the powerful feeling pulling them closer. One afternoon, something changed. Elena noticed a small birthmark on Amina's wrist. The moment she saw it, her heart stopped. Because years ago, her baby had the same mark. Memories rushed back like a storm. The rain, the crying baby, the painful goodbye. And suddenly, Elena realized something she had never imagined possible. The girl standing in front of her might be the child she lost. Shaking with emotion, Elena went to the community center. She knocked on the door, and when Daniel opened it, their eyes met. And in that moment, they both understood. The past had finally come back. With trembling voice, Elena asked the question she had carried for 20 years. Is the baby alive? Daniel looked her quietly before answering. Yes. And with that single word, the truth began to unfold. Amina's heart filled with emotions she couldn't understand. Shock, pain, and something else, a strange feeling of truth. She asked the only question that mattered. Why? And through tears, Elena finally told her story, not of abandonment, but of desperation, of a mother who believed her child deserved a better life. And for the first time, Amina understood. Slowly, Amina walked forward. For a moment, she hesitated. Then she embraced Elena. Mother and daughter cried together after 20 years of separation. Because some bonds, no matter how much time passes, never truly disappear. As the sun set that evening, Amina walked between Daniel and Elena, holding both their hands. One had given her life, the other had given her a life to live. And in that moment, Amina realized something beautiful. She was never truly abandoned. She was simply part of a story that needed time to find its way back home.